you cut me too deep. I think I'm dying here, man.
Welcome to the 3B Video Deep Cut Podcast.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes. It was fun.
Aw, yeah. It's that time again for another bi-weekly podcast with your hosts, Rotten Roger DeMarco and
Evil Dead Inkson. Raj, you want to have this conversation with a polygraph?
Is that a threat?
When it's a threat, you'll know it.
Was that a threat?
No, this movie is a threat, though. It's time for Scream 3. We're halfway through the Scream franchise. Supposed to be trilogy. This is 24 years ago. This is the millennium where it's all incidental and coincidental, or whatever the fuck the word is. It's time for Scream 3, where things were supposed to end.
The millennium.
Yeah, the millennium. Things are supposed to end here. You like things ending here?
Yeah, I like things ending in 1996, to be honest with you, but I want to get one thing out of the way. Let's go ahead and give a special shout out, a special thank you to Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris, the fucking piece of trash human beings who shot up Columbine High School, because they are responsible for this movie being so fucking soft.
I was not expecting you to go that route. I was like, I don't know where he's going with what the fuck. Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's a thing.
Tell me more. How did that affect how this movie was gonna go down? Because we're well past. These aren't high school kids. These aren't even college kids anymore. Nev Campbell has a ranch style home with like
she's loaded.
Yeah, 1 million locks and security setups and a dog, and runs like no one knows where she is other than apparently David Arquette. Like, is the only one privy to the knowledge of where she actually is.
Boy, this movie's a mess, first of all. That's the deal, right? Is originally, so there was a number of original plots for this movie. And one of them included that Matthew Lillard had survived and he was in prison. And he was orchestrating these killings, and it was a bunch of high school kids. They were like super Scream and Stab fans.
Oh man, it goes back that far?
Yeah, it was going to go back that far. And that was going to be the deal. It was going to be a bunch of high school students were the killers. But Columbine happened, so they're like, quick, rewrite. So they changed some stuff around, and then it was going to be the girl who takes over the role of Sydney. She was going to be one of the killers. But apparently the whole why there's one killer in this movie specifically has to do with the Columbine shooting, because there was 2 kids that shot up the school. So they're like, well, we should have just one killer, so it can't even be tied in to Columbine, which Scream predates Columbine and has always been a 2-killer thing. But also that works to its detriment. You know, we talked about that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I thought for sure they're like, everyone's going to expect 2. What if we change it up now and make it different? Just have it 1. But this is the how would I put this? After I got done watching it, because the wife's like, well, what'd you think this time? Like, not as terrible as I remember it, but she was there to kind of like help me through some spots. I'm like, no, what is? It's super kind of like timely now. Like, it feels like this movie would do gangbusters if made today, because it's really like shining a light on something very popular right now, is how there's a real seedy sexual favors undertone in Hollywood going on right now, and Lance Henriksen is fucking running in his own Epstein Island on "You Want to Be Famous, Kid?" And it's that combined with the real daytime soapish, almost Tootsie angle of like, Sydney has a long lost half brother. What?
Dude, that is so silly.
Some real Star Wars shit.
So you can tell that it's last minute when you watch the movie because they had to reshoot scenes and they were like basically rewriting pages daily and filming new stuff to try and fix all these problems. The finished version of this movie literally shows Roman dead. They check his pulse. They're like,
Yeah.
he's dead. He's like dead. He's really, really dead. And then all of a sudden, he's the killer because they'd painted themselves into a corner. They didn't know where to go. So then they're like, long lost brother. Like they just tacked that on. And it's so insulting. Also, the fact that this movie is, because of Columbine, they made a conscious decision to dial back all of the gore and all of the scares and bump up the comedy. It feels so like it's so parody of itself, down to the point where we have Jay and Silent Bob because Miramax. You know, we have Reservoir Dogs discussion because of Tarantino. All of this stuff, and then also shoehorning in Randy.
The Jay and Bob stuff is hilarious because I know the story of how that happened. Is they just got contacted like, would you want to come down and do this? Like, we'll pay you, I think like $25 or $35 for the day, but they give them per diem. So they get $35 per diem to fuck around for the day. Catering is everywhere, and they get a free T-shirt. And Muse is like, we should do this for every movie now.
Yeah, just start popping in.
He's like, $35 on a shirt? We should do every movie like this. Just show up and do things. It's Jay and Bob. And Muse was apparently over the moon for that deal, which sounds very much like I would be feeling the same way. Like, yeah, let's just show up in everything and just get a free T-shirt and $35.
Yeah, just build out our world, build out our lore of these characters.
Yeah. And of course, this movie's famous for having apparently the worst and most hated bangs on Courtney Cox's character, which I was like,
She looks like Minnie Mouse. I hate it.
I didn't care.
So rewatching it this week, you know, because that's what we've been doing. You and I are very privy to the first Scream.
Mm-hmm.
That's in our wheelhouse definitely. But the other ones, they need a little bit of like coaxing. We gotta ease back in. So rewatching Scream 3 this week, a lot of the things that I already brought up were what were adding up to me being my problem. But this go around, during the opener, I was sitting here with my wife and I said, you know, I think the initial like out the gate issue is this does not feel like a Scream movie. The first movie has arguably one of the best openers in cinema history. There's a lot of tension. There's like a real genuine cat and mouse going on. There is like a threat. It feels scary. It feels personal. Scream 2, not so much. We're losing it a little bit. But by Scream 3, this is just average Joe Blow slasher movie.
It's using voice AI that we're just now being able to discover and use now, almost 25 years later.
Mm-hmm.
That did not exist in 2000 and still not really too great. So it's like that he has this device that literally he can imitate anybody's fucking voice, including a woman who died several years previously to this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in real time too. There's no like rendering or creation. It's just real time. I've got the voice loaded in on what, like a floppy disk?
Yeah, he can. He has his task cam ready. He can just hit a button really quick in the future. He found the plutonium, traveled back in time so he could use this voice changing device so he could act like anyone. And it doesn't overlap. That's the thing that really fucks with me. I'm like, it doesn't overlap at all. Like, you can't hear his voice and someone else's voice. It just straight up, you change to that voice. Yeah,
like in Scream at the end when they use the voice changer. Surprise, Sydney. You can hear both of their voices.
Yeah.
Like when,
how things really work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 2 vocal tones at the same time. You would assume. But it's just, I think like the ex machina of it, or whatever you call it, whatever it is, the Chekhov's gun, whatever, is that they're in Hollywood. So you're just supposed to accept that. Like, oh yeah, it's a movie.
Yeah, apparently they're
they have everything.
They're driving distance from Hollywood, which I mean I can get from the first. We're not told where the hell they are in the first movie, but you looking at the landscape, you're like, yeah, I guess that could be like California way. And they tell us that they lived not too far away from the land of the stars, so Maureen, Rena Reynolds could change her name and go try to be a star.
I know this is like early internet era, but
real early.
On what planet are you able to, in your early 20s, go and live a life where you're featured in, not just featured, you're a star in 3 to 5 films, come back to your hometown, which you had to have told people in your hometown, like, I'm going to go to Hollywood, I'm going to be a big star, I'm going to try, which just in your circle, your family would have seen your films and would have shown other people. There would be knowledge that you were this actress and come back and had failed. There's no way to keep it completely under wraps. So much so that Sydney's dad doesn't know, Sydney doesn't know, the film geek Randy has not seen any of these horror films that she's featured predominantly in. Like,
apparently her just being
there has to be,
her just being a promiscuous woman just infuriates and overshadows everyone's forethought in the entire land.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's like, she likes sex, and goddammit, I don't like that.
It's a really weird thing, and that might be another really big area of contention.
That's even for the wife. She's like, why do so many people just hate that Maureen was sleeping around? Like, 3 movies and people are still pissed that she was hooking up with people.
Mm-hmm. That is like super bothersome that everybody is willing to murder over.
Yeah, they hate it that much.
But the whole fact of she has this, I mean, she's not Viggo Mortensen in History of Violence, you know what I mean? Like, or someone getting moved for Witsec or whatever. Like, you're a girl who was in a bunch of horror movies, got raped, shit out a baby, gave it up for adoption, wow, and went home. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like that should have been discovered, and that's why the whole reveal to me is such bullcrap. The whole premise of Scream 3 it's standing on some flimsy legs. It's a balsa wood foundation for me.
Yeah, and then we have the spots where because the wife's seen it several times, so I was able to ask her, I was like, so is Sydney dreaming here? Is Sydney dreaming that she woke up from dreaming but still dreaming? Which that's I put that in the list. Like, when we were talking Elm Street, I've never been in a dream where I've had fucking superpowers. Not once. Not one superpower. I've never been able to fly, lift up anything heavy, nothing. I've been bound by real world logic and gravity and all that shit in every dream. Nor have I ever had this where I've woken up and I'm still in the dream. Never, ever once has that ever happened. You would think that you being an avid Elm Street fan, that somehow your brain would make that dream happen at least once in your life, because it happens so much in Wes Craven's filmography. Yeah, that happens a lot in movies where people are dreaming in general, that they wake up several times. Shit. But yeah, that's never ever happened to me. Not one time. I don't know if I asked the wife if it happened to her. How about you? Have you ever woken up but still in the dream? Not necessarily, but when I was younger, I used to have a problem with sleepwalking and a little tiny bit of sleep paralysis and stuff. So there were times when I would wake up or be conscious but not fully be conscious, and then have to be woken up again. It's not the same. Yeah, definitely been there. I've definitely for a hot minute I would have moments where I felt like I was definitely screaming in a dream, but I knew I wasn't screaming in the real world, and I could just, I'm not screaming, but I can feel my face just getting really hot as if I was screaming. That's the closest I could give to that, but I was just like, I've never had that. But yeah, we have this weird exorcist looking shit going on with Ghost Maureen, which I thought it looked pretty good when she's in the body bag.
I have no issues with that, and I think I brought that up 2 weeks ago where when I was younger, Ghost Maureen like walking up the driveway or whatever and scratching at the window.
You brought that up during the gate.
It used to creep me out. It really, really used to bother me. Does it make any sense and or belong in a Scream movie? No, but as a standalone, like a pale old woman that's a ghost, like it feels very Unsolved Mysteries.
Yep, that's some Resurrection Mary shit.
Yeah, it feels like that. And it's creepy. But when you put it in the context of a Scream movie, it's silly, it's stupid, it doesn't belong. But it's effective, or at least it was for me when I was younger.
It still was effective to see it, but I was just like, where are we here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Where is this land we're in? I don't recognize it anymore.
No, because we're straying further and further from the source material. We're really leaning into comedy, so therefore it does feel like a parody. 100% feels so slapsticky and stupid, and I think the jump the shark moment for me is Ghostface throwing the knife at Dewey and like hitting him with the butt of the knife.
That's some Jack Burton shit though, like he's got that Jack Burton name.
Yeah.
Like just lucky. He's just fucking lucky.
And Dewey in the first movie, he's a buffoon only because he's an inexperienced police officer. He's never a complete moron. And by the time we get to Scream 3, always walking around with that stupid look on his face.
Oh, he's full Barney Fife now.
Oh, God, yeah. And it's just, and always the pratfalls. You brought it up, I think, 2 weeks ago. Like, he's constantly taking bumps.
This movie has the fucking hill from Black Sheep in it. They just keep falling down this hill. Oh, wee little root. Hold me.
What in the hell was that all about?
Literally what I said when all these people got done falling because he happened to read this fucking letter that, you know, whoever smells the gas. That right there, I was like, he's really banking on that someone would have a fucking lighter and would be able to light the way for that all to hit how it hits. Like, that is too planned out. We thought part 2 was planned out a little bit too much for that streetlight sequence. It's really gone far now to the point of like, shit, I hope that dude has a lighter on hand and holds it up at the right moment. Flick.
Yeah, this is madness. Prior, when he's reading the previous pages, not using a lighter, totally can see just fine.
Yeah.
Runs back inside to get the last page, and then we got a ADR in a little line of, I can't see shit, you know? And then he's got to go into the kitchen, get the, like, why can't you see? Did the clouds go over the moon in the past, like, 4 seconds?
Yeah.
What happened?
You're in a film, you know that blue lighting from the moon will illuminate everything inside of a house, even if all the doors and windows are shut and bolted and locked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it's blue, you can see.
Yeah, we can see, you can see.
Mm-hmm. You're fine. That whole thing, too. Ghostface using a fax machine.
Fax machine. Man, what a 2000, man.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me it's 2000 without telling me it's 2000. Ghostface uses a goddamn fax machine.
Yeah. That is some ridiculous... That's so silly. It's so silly, man. Also, doesn't help that pretty much every character in this movie is absolutely insufferable, with the exception of our boy Marcus from Hatchet.
Yeah,
but he doesn't get enough to do.
Yeah, he does. Like, you totally forget he doesn't even feel like he should be on the poster. How little he's in the movie. Like, you just forget he's there, and then he shows back up just so he could get stabbed. It's like, why are they still here? And they do this.
He was working on a movie called Stab.
Yeah.
He was stabbed.
I'm the only brother here. Oh, shit. It's whack. And we got the classic, the good girl playing Sydney that ends up like, I did not fuck Lance Henriksen, did not get the lead part for this shit to be shut down and die now.
Did I say that she was supposed to be the killer originally?
No.
Yeah, she was supposed to be the killer. Also, in the edit, which is so... just, you can tell that there's like 3 different movies that they were making. The scene with Sydney in the bathroom, and then the fake Sydney is in the stall,
just stealing
and she
shit.
climbs up onto the she climbs up onto the toilet.
Yeah.
For no reason. And then Sydney opens it up like, And then the whole like, oh, I was just taking this mask because, you know, I might not ever get to be in another movie. But it's never explained. Why did you climb up on the toilet? Why are you wearing those? Like, she's literally wearing the Ghostface black work boots because she was supposed to be the killer.
It's easier to, she ain't got a bag. You got to carry all that shit you're stealing. So just leave your shoes there, put them shoes on, carry them out, sell all that shit for money. Like kick your shoes up, put the boots on. Like I would be doing that shit. I'd be put all this shit on so I got less to carry. I'm more mobile. Don't want to run into security guards. I want to run into the dude from Seinfeld, Putty, the lead security guy there. What are your thoughts on him?
I just don't get why climb up on the toilet.
The guy that refers to Dewey as Dewdrop gets stabbed in the back.
Cusco's poison. The poison for Cusco.
That guy,
Joe from Family Guy, yeah.
Oh, I don't think of him. I think of from Putty from Seinfeld. He's the dude who helps Kramer install a garbage disposal in his shower. And Elaine's like, I'm not sure if I can date you because he puts face paint on and shit to go to a Devils hockey game. Like he's one of those dedicated guys. And she's like, I don't know if I can date that. So that's all I see when I see this guy trying to be a serious like prick. Be like, yeah, your sister died. Ugh, stupid Dewey.
He's okay, but he's just comedy relief, you know? He's another one of those characters where I don't care what happens. You know he's gonna die. And they also, like, they also do my man Cotton Weary super dirty in the opener because the thing about, at least Scream 1, we like Casey Becker. We like her. You and I both have a problem with Maureen and Omar Epps or whatever his name is in Scream 2. They're not necessarily likable people, but we've had 2 movies with Cotton Weary. Cotton Weary is kind of an off-kilter, weird dude.
Yeah.
But he's not a bad guy. You know, he's not a bad guy. And how will we open this movie? Him potentially cheating on his girlfriend by flirting with a fan on the phone. You know, it just doesn't paint him in a good light, and then we kill him.
I will give him credit, though. The name of his show is pretty ingenious.
Yeah, he's like Jerry Springer.
Yeah, that his show is called 100% Cotton. I'm like, that's good marketing right there. That's utilizing
top-notch,
utilizing your brand very well, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they do him dirty. They don't give him, because it would have been cool, because Ghostface's whole deal is trying to figure out where Sydney is. It would have been cool if he would have like said, you know, go fuck yourself or whatever. Like if he would have had a line to be like, I'm not telling you where she is, and then he gets killed. Or you make him take the coward route and he's like, all right, I'll tell you where she is, and then like
some Naked Gun 2.5 shit like Habsburg has plan B in. Sydney goes under a false name. She works under a crisis line in. Your attitude sucks, I'm not telling you.
Perfect.
Yeah. If I thought the opening to the previous movie was not as good, this is making the second movie's opener look a lot better. So I'm curious if when we get around to 4, if I'm going to be thinking, man, 3 wasn't too bad after all now, in comparison.
I don't think so. I think when we get to 4 in 2 weeks, you'll go, thank God we still have part 1.
Ah, man, I say that every single week.
Right.
Speaking of part 1, they realize that Randy was a bad idea to kill him, so they got to bring him back some way. Why the fuck is his sister in a trailer in Hollywood again?
Exposition, baby. It makes 0 sense.
How'd she get there?
That she
Why
could just waltz onto the set.
Yeah.
We missed you in Woodsboro. Like, what are you doing here? Don't you need to get hung upside down and gutted in Hostel 2?
There is 0 security around this set because they just let Gail come in with a camera in her purse, and they just let a teenager on the set, like, yeah, just hang out in this trailer. Who are you? I was friends with one of the guys who got killed at the college. Come on in.
Sounds safe to me. Yeah, you don't have potential killer written all over your forehead.
Yeah. Would you like a drink or something? Here, just wait in this trailer right here. You have a videotape? How'd they find the videotape? How'd this videotape come into their possession now?
No idea. I wish I could tell you, man. Just bad writing.
Well, that's not good enough. I need to know.
We need a definitive answer.
I need answers, damn it.
I would say let's holler at Kevin Williamson, but Kevin Williamson did not write this script. And it's pretty obvious. I mean, I know that when we were talking about Scream 2, we were like, boy, like we're just doing Scream 1, but we're
Hipper.
we're Dawson's creaking it up a little bit.
Yeah, we're trying to be.
Yeah.
What up, fellow kids? Hipper.
But by the time we get to Scream 3, man, am I wishing I had some of that Kevin Williamson dialogue. I'm begging for it. Because this is rough. It's like too meta, you know?
Yeah, we're definitely getting there. I did like to continue the continuity of it. Did you notice Sydney's necklace?
Oh, yeah. It's Fatties from Stand By Me. Why can't I think of Derek, her ex-boyfriend?
Vern. Come on, Verno. Those are Vern's Greek letters. Still around her neck, so she's still holding Vern's letters.
Buried them in a jar full of pennies.
Yeah, pennies underneath the porch, but I lost the map. But I got a comb. What do you need a comb for? You don't even have any hair.
That's so good. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, that was a bit of continuity. I did not. The wife pointed that out to me, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of nice that she still is. She's remembering him. Somebody cares about somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he was a good guy.
Yeah, just got shot in the chest for being a good guy.
You start to notice that in this movie, this is a trend that's going to happen for the rest of the franchise, by the way, that Neve Campbell is there less and less and less and less. By the time we're here in 3, she was busy. So I think they had her for, I want to say 20 days, which sounds like a lot, but it's not in the grand scheme of things, because what do we really have her? We have her at her house. We have a couple scenes of her at her house doing the crisis, comes to the police station, and then the showdown at the very end. That's it.
Which I love. I love the fight on the fake set of the original house. One that looked really cool. It looked pretty good for
super
being
cool.
very iconic. But man, she's kicking the shit out of this guy by pushing down like the tool cart down the steps and then yanking him off that platform into the bed. She is fucking on fire here.
Yeah, she throws down. One thing I did notice in her set decked room, the fake room.
Oh yes,
we've now replaced her poster of the Indigo Girls from the first movie. It's a Creed poster.
Really, 2000 there, man. Tell me it's 2000 without 2000 or 2024. It's Creed.
Maybe some Drowning Pool.
You know they're apparently big again.
They're what?
They're big again. You hear that?
No.
That Creed is like relevant again. They're doing something. I've been hearing rumblings that they're doing a tour again or something. Like Creed is big again. I'm like, huh? I missed the Drowning Pool stuff though. Where's that in this movie?
Oh, it's not in there. I was saying that'd be also very 2000.
I was like, damn. I was like, that's probably like I think a year or two before Drowning Pool hit. I was like, I missed that shit. I feel like I'm off my game.
But it's nostalgia, right? So yeah. Creed was big when we were younger, and now our generation is old. So they're like, hey, we liked Creed, and
my sacrifice.
Did they do? Can you take me higher?
To a place we rise.
Every time I hear higher, all I can think of is there was like a WWF highlight reel of the Hardy Boys like doing flips off of.
They did higher, and they did a shit ton of My Sacrifice ones. There's like an Undertaker one, a fucking Austin one, a WWE fans in general one. It was a big deal at the time. Police are coming. They don't like hearing those copyrighted songs.
Yep, they don't like it. Also, speaking of police, boy, these guys, let me tell you, they're the Halloween 5 cops.
Perfect fucking timing, man. We get Dreamboat. The fuck is his name? I'm blanking on it now that I gotta say it.
Dempsey?
Yeah, Patrick Dempsey. We just seen him in Thanksgiving. Spoiler, he's the killer in Thanksgiving. Very Scream-like movie there. But we get wicked young Patrick Dempsey with his big ass fucking fro hair just everywhere. And I really was like, what is going on with these cops? Like I remember it was Matt Foley was the killer, which is the most hard I've ever seen him in any movie. I remember him being the goofy SeaWorld guy from Scrubs. So to see him being like fucking and shooting guns and stuff, I'm like, he's really trying to shed that nice guy looking, like he just has a baby face. But he's right there with Dempsey on like having this baby face thing going on. I also love that Sid would know that Dempsey would have a spare like little pistol in the drawer. If I just search long enough, I know he's got a secret gun hidden in here somewhere.
Also, he's definitely set up red herring style, because in his police cubicle or whatever, there's just like a million books on film, which is very, telling.
That scrapbook definitely gives me that impression. Like he has this fucking scrapbook with newspaper clippings and shit in it, and like that's not regular police. Like, where's the microfiche for this?
I mean, he's set up to be a red herring, but his line delivery on things, my life is death.
I work in homicide. He just putting on a cigarette like that. He's doing that. It's not. That's the kind of shit I would picture John Saxon saying, as his security guard role in Little Nemo's. Like, not this guy. Not young, strapping, McDreamy here.
You need a grizzled police officer who's got some miles on him, not like
Scar on
John
his
Q.
face.
Handsome man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That other cop, to me, feels like they wanted to cast Ben Stiller, but they cast like dollar store Ben Stiller.
He's so generic. I remember he had a partner, but I don't even could tell you what he looks like now. He looked like if you just had generic on any like create a guy game, and you just left it as generic.
Yeah.
Like you did nothing to it. I remember nothing.
He has a very like dry delivery, which makes me think of Ben Stiller. And so I'm like, I feel like, they were like, get us a Ben Stiller type if Ben Stiller says no.
Sure. I remember nothing of that guy, so he's extremely forgettable to me. I got nothing. He's literally like the dude. He's like the God Hand killer. Like, what he looked like? I'm like, shit, I looked at him for 2 hours and I don't know what the hell he looked like. Couldn't tell you. Complete blank.
Hey, that was a Frailty reference. Deep cut.
Yes.
So, yeah, how do you feel about the culmination, the ending of this film? Because to me, I don't know, man. This whole, like, it's my birthday, we're going to have a little party. Like, it all feels very just convenient to me. I don't know. Get them all in this mansion, kill them all off.
He's 30 here, right? Like, he's getting ready to, like, that's his 30th birthday?
Yeah.
So he's taking advantage of using the Scream 1 cast when he's 20? 25?
About have to be, yeah. Because it would have been, 5 years prior.
And do you think he set up Billy to be the guy doing all the string work, and he's made sure to get Stu so he could be the fall guy? So do you believe from the logic here that he was telling Billy, you need to set up your own fall guy? So was Billy going, is that why he cut Stu so deep? Is like he's actually going to kill Stu and pin everything on Stu, and he's going to live and say, no, it was Stu that was actually doing this, so he can get off scot-free?
That's a pretty good assumption. Yeah,
that's the wife's interpretation of that. She's like, yeah, he set that up for that to be a thing. And I was like, so that's, okay.
I don't mind that. What I don't like is all of a sudden I'm the long lost brother and I helped orchestrate everything.
I'm getting retro pissed. I'm like, how did Billy get Stu wrapped up in shit? Like, how did he get Stu so pissed off that he's like, yeah, I'm going to join you in this revenge plot for your ma that is set up by this long lost brother?
Because, so here's the issue with that is if Roman went to Woodsboro, why enlist Billy instead of just killing Sydney or knocking on the door and meeting Sydney and, going to therapy?
Didn't he say he tried to meet her and she just like shunned him away? And that's what sent him into the jealous rage mode?
Yeah.
So they tried to explain that.
It's bull crap. It's just crap.
I'm devil's advocating against you.
I hate it. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. It feels so It just feels lazy to me, and the fact that it's so like goreless and it's overly funny, just it doesn't help its case for me. And Scream 4 is rough, and we'll get to that. But at least in Scream 4, we're trying to make a comment on the way that the horror genre is now, and we're trying to like play on those tropes, but make a movie that's true to the feeling of the first Scream. We're trying. We don't necessarily succeed, but we try. This movie just feels like bunch of afterthoughts.
You think it would have been better if they went a Dream Warriors route? Like you just had a group of people fighting back instead of, it's more or less Dewey until Dewey's, shut out by a, Batman looking door. And then it's up to Sydney. Like a group kind of attack sequence. Yeah, that's a great. I love that. Whether you just hear them on the other side of the wall and being like, I don't know how this shit opens, man.
Yeah. The mirror is moving.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Dewey, that was a haiku. I'm looking at a mirror, but it's moving, but it's not moving. Isn't that weird?
I like the original idea. Even if you get rid of the Stu angle, and if your idea is that a bunch of fans of the movie decide to kill Sydney, so you have if you have 5-6 kids that are dressing up, and that also gives you that appearance, which is what works so well with the first movie, right? Is that it makes the killer feel almost like they are a ghost because they can be in two places at once. So if you had like 5 or 6 of them, I guess the fear factor would be upped, and then the reveal would be super cool. At least I think.
Yeah, that'd be very different. That'd be an interesting way for them to approach it if they went that route. Mm-hmm. It would make things make more sense unopposed in this movie, where there's a phone call to Sydney during a sequence where there's no way the dude could take time out to make a ring up Sydney and give her a fucking scare on the phone because he's too busy preoccupied with other things. Which, with you telling me about all the rewrites, definitely like, oh, well, that makes sense in a not making sense kind of way now.
Yeah. So there was originally an alternate opening also where Sydney was going to be like hanging out with one of her friends at a house, and they were getting ready to watch a movie, and they get a call from a Ghostface, and then Ghostface tries to attack them, like comes out of the closet or busts through the front door, and Sydney shoots this Ghostface, and it turns out it's like an obsessed fan, and that's how the movie was supposed to start, was to kind of,
with a murder.
Yeah, have Sydney kill a teenage kid.
I mean, she's already killed 5, so she's up her count to 6 now. She's just on this is Sydney's Killing a Rampage franchise. Did you watch the alternate ending? I did watch that, which is not really too different.
I have not.
It's literally like the exact same thing, except some of the shots of them zooming in on the phone call for like location, like how they like, oh, she's over here, I can hear the phone ringing. Like some of that's just vaguely different. I watched it at half speed forward because like this is the exact same thing I just seen. Nothing is different here. How's this an alternate ending? It's the same shit.
Yeah, I'll be real honest with you. Delving into Scream 3 is not something that like I want to do. I literally, when I stopped the movie, I said, well, I'm going to put that back in its case and never watch that one again. Like, I really don't like Scream 3.
So, the very, very ending then. We have Sydney, setting up her security systems. Mm-hmm. At the end of this movie, she doesn't set up her security on her door. And it swings open. And it's really weird because Dewey and Gail are living with her or on, proximity property to her. And McDreamy, who's just got the shit beat out of him by this movie director previously, so he's really not a great homicide detective or cop in general. This movie director is just kicking the shit out of him the whole movie. is just hanging out, and they're like, "Come on, Sid, we're gonna watch a movie all together." And I'm like, "Why the fuck is he here?" Same thing with like Cotton hanging out in the college area. In the last movie, like, why is Dempsey just here?
They hit it off, man. They're in love.
They don't give they give one throwaway line in the car, but they don't give like any indication that there's any sparks of flying going between them two. None.
It's probably on the cutting room floor somewhere, but it's definitely forced. It's like Halloween Ends when Allison looks at Corey and all of a sudden is like, I'm gonna fuck that guy. Doesn't make any sense, but here we are.
But at least
canon.
that one, they're at least doing something. And this one, there's no indication at all that they're anything other than like, hello, fellow human. Like that's the extent of their relationship, I feel like, between these two.
Maybe Sydney's got daddy issues, man.
Well, probably, yeah. He shows back up for the first time in 4 fucking ever. Like, where have you been the last 2 movies? Like, okay, now you're here and around. And how come he should be the one that gets killed in this movie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
That's where the movie should begin. It should begin with his death, not Cotton Weary's. Maybe Cotton can die 3/4 of the way through, but I would start with taking out the dad.
Yeah, and you know what? Avoid all that Hollywood crap, in my opinion. Kill the dad, make her go back to Woodsboro.
Now we're on to something. We got something now.
And then we have a better movie. Just based on that opening alone. We avoid Hollywood at all costs.
What if you have Maureen still on the phone with him, like the voice of Maureen? Would that be too much, or would that be all right if we use it that way? Talking to him.
That's intriguing. I hate that voice changer.
Same. I'm angry because we don't have that technology is why I hate it.
Yeah. And it's not used correctly. If it was used to set up scares, yes. But if it's just used to imitate Joe Blow so you can, I have a meeting because he called me. Like, fucking lame.
That was funny as shit to me during the opening with Cotton, and when their girlfriend's like, "You doing your stab games again?" Presuming that I'm like, wait, hold on. So there is a precedent that he likes to play stab role-playing games with his girlfriend? Is she like, say your name's Maureen, yeah. Like, there's a weird dark side to Cotton a little bit.
Playing that Don't Fear the Reaper slow jam cover in the background while...
Yeah, apparently, they let that kind of slip out there. That Cotton does have a kink for this stab role-playing thing. I just got carried away, implying that he's gone to a degree this route before.
Yeah. Does he put on like a football player's Letterman jacket and like...
Or they have, like L.A. Beast, a litany of doors for him to break down and then go take her in the other room. Like, we'll replace that tomorrow. I'm gonna put another bedroom door up. I'm gonna bust through this shit and call me Ghostface. Which one's your favorite new kid? Call me Joey.
Here's how it is.
Donnie.
It's like when Billy Madison is doing he's trying to learn for the test. So it's trivia, but every question she gets right, he takes an article of clothing off. If she gets a question wrong, he puts an article of Ghostface costume on.
That's a long game.
Yeah, and then he can chase her through the house.
One more and I'm gonna chase ya. I've got the boots, the robe, the mask, the knife, each glove. I'm gonna take a step forward. Red light, green light. Here I come. Shit, you got it right. And then glove off. I'm gonna get you. You're gonna get 100% cottoned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Here I come. Very Freddy.
But this is the end of the trilogy. For a number of years. How in the world would you resurrect this series for the next one? Because we have more to go. Where do you go from here? Where would you take the story from here if you had to take it somewhere? Where do you go?
I guess.
What do you do?
Back to Woodsboro. Seriously, leave Hollywood alone at all costs. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's where the problem lies. Is every year. Well, I guess we had a decade where we didn't have a Scream movie. But like every time they would announce a new Scream movie, the kid in me would go, "Yes, all right, let's see if they get it right this time. I'm stoked." I would immediately get stoked. and then they would drop the ball, and they would drop the ball, and they would drop the ball. And then, like, we course correct. I like 5. 5's pretty good. But I don't know if I like 5 because of nostalgia alone. It's that case of lightning in a bottle for me. And as much as I give these films chances, I just can't validate any of their existence beyond the first one.
This one did have some of the score from the original done again, and that sounded pretty nice. I did like some of the score work.
All the cue callbacks are nice, but the majority of the score pretty average.
Yeah, but I like those throwbacks there. They were nice.
Yeah.
I say we didn't speak anything of Parker Posey. What do you have any thoughts on her as Gale Weathers?
She's my least favorite person in the history of the world.
I thought that was right. I was like, I couldn't remember. I was like, somebody I know hates Parker Posey.
I hate her.
I think it's Raj.
I can't stand her. My wife asked me, she goes, what is your problem with her? I said, I hate her face. I hate her voice. I hate her line delivery. I just hate her. You ever, like, there's just an actor that you see and you just know that in real life they must absolutely suck. And I can't stand them in anything. I hate her.
Jeremy Piven.
Yeah, see, that's yours. You would punch him in the face if you ever met him. Parker Posey, I would be like, I hate you. I couldn't hit her because she's a girl, but I might just tell her I hate her to her face.
I love her in Blade Trinity. She has a great delivery. She's like, hi, Blade. I like your tattoos. They mean anything? Stupid.
No, boy, do I hate her. And of course, that's where a lot of the comedy comes from, is her and Gale's little back and forth. And then of course, they've got to, like, partner up and be two sides of the Gale coin or whatever. And it's just so Scooby-Doo.
When she jumps into the security guy's arms for no reason whatsoever, that one got me. I was like, that was good. It reminded me of, like, some Chappelle Show P. Diddy shit where he just gets carried out of the room. I'm gonna go take a nap. I was like, that is Parker Posey being the most Parker Posey. I think even it was her line, the my lawyer liked that.
Yeah, I don't like that. It's a weird line.
I thought that was all right. I don't mind Parker Posey. I don't. She's like the female George McFly.
I suppose. Although I think
Like,
Crispin Glover is,
Yeah, Crispin Glover takes some weird kind of approaches to things, and I was like, I think Parker Posey the same way. Like how he is in every movie he's ever in. I feel Parker's the exact same way. Like, just weird, but not in that, like, how you think she's gonna be weird. She's very much her own degree of weird.
I just can't deal with her, man. I really can't. But I respect anyone who does like her. I just don't.
Wow. Speaking of disrespect, unless you got something else you want to bring up for Scream 3 before we move on to other people who disdain the movie as much as you do.
I'm good.
Don't. I was like, I want to make sure we gave Parker a shout out, because just someone would be like, they didn't mention Parker Posey once.
Well, here's your one more time. I don't like Parker Posey. It sticks to the tape.
All right, then, and then it's time to just continue the train of discomfort and dislikes. It's time for the Uno Star reviews from the Amazons.
Hated it.
Adrian on June 8th, 2021. 1 star, thumbs down. Not worth my rent money. Trash.
Trash.
I don't know if he means the money to rent the movie, or he's spending rent money on movies.
I don't know, but trash is right.
Bruce on November 4th, 2019. 1 star, blue.
Blue.
Nev Campbell is barely in it. David Arquette and Courtney Cox, not compelling.
Bruce, you're going to need a bigger review.
Yeah, just for clarification, that is BLEW, not BLUE. Allie Jane on Halloween night 2015, 1 star. This movie was so bad, Corny Cox's bangs weren't even willing to be seen in it.
Oh, clever.
I thought that was a pretty good one. Mm-hmm. Julia Rossi.
Gulia.
Gulia Rossi. January 20th, 2016, 1 star. A disappointment.
Disappointed.
For delivery times, nothing to say. Ordered and delivered in 1 day. The disc, faulty, doesn't work, and makes a noise. Impossible.
That's the moving pictures.
Like,
You're not supposed to put the disc in your reel-to-reel projector.
No, that ain't gonna work. Yeah, the last one here from R. Christian on May 9, 2010. 1 star. Sound titles not adapted to this country. The DVD sold in France only in English and Italian with subtitles only in English and Italian. It's hard. He's like, I bought this shit in France, but it doesn't sound like it's French at all.
Parlez-vous favorite scary movie?
I'm looking for my son. You know where he is?
I'm not bald. I shaved my head. You understand?
The cheese pie with the snails to you.
Well, was that the end of the 1-star reviews, Evil?
That is all the 1 stars I was gathering for Scream Trace.
Well, what does that mean?
And again, another week where I'm like, oh shit, what the hell do I do? The buzzer is hitting. It's time to play the game.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game. It's all about the game and how you play it. Oh, what's wrong being friends with you, Sid?
It's rough being friends with this franchise, but that's right. It's time to play the game. And if you're new here, welcome. But you're probably scratching your head asking yourself, what is the game? Well, the game is a deep cut in and of itself where you got to pick a prop from the movie that we are covering, but it can't be a well-known prop. So since we're covering Scream 3, I'm just going to say, you can't take the mask, you can't take the robe, you can't take the knife, and I'm not going to let you take the fancy multi-voice changer this time because that's a central plot device. So pick something else, pick something
It's too good.
weird.
It's too damn good.
Pick a different, crazy, odd thing. Let us know on Patreon, Discord, the comments on the podcast, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you find us. But we gotta know what you want from this movie. So let us know. Evil, I think I'm gonna go first for you since you said you were having a hard time.
Please.
Because the prop that I want is...
I did find something, but it's like, I was hoping you don't pick the same thing.
Okay, well, we'll find out. Because the prop that I'm picking is from a scene that we did not bring up. Which I'll just bring it up now because it makes zero goddamn sense to me. So I had to have this prop. The scene that I'm setting up is Jenna McCarthy getting called to the office.
Oh, no.
To talk to Roman about the lines or the rewrite or her character. And we get this absolutely pointless, useless, pathetic excuse for a jump scare where our character who plays Marcus in Hatchet jumps out of the effects room with a pair of scissors stuck to his head. Boo! Makeup effects test. Ha 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 ha. And then him and the makeup effects artist leave the building. They don't go back in the room so they can remove the prosthetic. They just leave, which is...
Yeah,
that's what
lunch.
Yeah, that's what the... that's all the thought that went into this movie. So my prop is the head scissors. Because that scene is so stupid. I had to take the head scissors.
Damn, we were close. We were really fucking close. I wanted the award with the severed head on it.
Oh, nice.
Which I love, where dude's like, this is a threat. Look at this severed head. She tries to put that shit back on with like scotch tape or whatever.
Yeah. See, and in my brain, I could have swore she used chewing gum. Because that's how I've always remembered it. That she.
Yeah, you would think chewing gum, but no, she's much worse. She uses just fucking tape on his desk and tries to wrap that very poorly around it. Which I was like, oh, geez, that looks like real dog shit. And I love that he takes that as a threat of like, they're going to kill me next. Look at this. You tell me this isn't a threat?
But he's the killer, so why would anyone threaten to kill him? It's, yee.
Was he at the time, though? Or was it back to
Oh,
being
I'm
the
sure it
chick
was-
that was
I'm-
going to be the killer then when that scene was
I'm sure
done?
it was still the chick. But it's just such a...
That's why they bring up the cloning of cell phones again, too.
Yeah.
Which, is that a thing? Have you ever heard of that being a thing? Is cloning a phone a thing even now? Can you do that? Someone out there must know. Can you clone a cell phone?
If anyone would know, it would be Remix. So, I guess...
Because that shit they bring up in the first one where Dewey's like, could his cell phone been cloned? Like, is that a fucking thing? And here in 2000, I'm like, is that a fucking thing?
Well, okay,
I'm in 2024 and I'm still asking, is that a fucking thing?
so here's my only thought, and this is... I'm probably way off, but like when you go and you buy a new phone and they plug both of your phones in and then they copy the data from one phone to the next, I'm wondering if both can be activated to the same number simultaneously if you have that equipment. That's literally the only thing that I can think that both could be activated, which would mean that both would get, if you texted one, it would go to both. If you called one, it would go to both phones. But I don't even know if that's possible. So I'm just literally talking out my ass.
Beats the shit out of me. Beats me, boss man. I'm not a science bitch.
Back off, man. I'm a science bitch.
I'm a scientist. Science is a liar sometimes.
Oh, boy. Well, I suppose there's a lot of movies out there, and somebody's got to watch them. So why not us? Right?
He was making a movie called Stab. He was stabbed.